Okay, gang, today is July 19th, 2016, and today we're talking about becoming an inspired leader. So, this is really actually the whole purpose of a lead, our mission statement. We empower doctors to become inspired leaders, to change the perception of chiropractic toward corrective care in the general public first, that's through you guys, and in the profession. We empower doctors to become inspired leaders. So that's why we have Becoming an Inspired Leader. And based on this teleconference, also we have the Chicago seminar coming up, October 14th, 15th. Set those dates aside. It's not an option. It's absolutely mandatory. And the theme is becoming a world-class inspired leader. So this is going to be a little bit of the foundation of what we're going to talk about, what I'm going to talk about. We certainly have a great lineup of speakers: Brian Kelly, Chris Zano, Billy DeMoss, Joe Borio, Roberto Monaco, and myself. Chris DiCarlo is going to go through how to turn 86+% patients into lifetime care. So anyway, Chris and Lauren. So becoming an inspired leader. So as I was looking at this, I said, okay, let's get down to the nuts and bolts. What's inspired mean? When we look that up, it says imbued with the Spirit. Another word for imbued means to impregnate or inspire, from inside out, right? To put that in. Imbued with the Spirit to do something by or as if by supernatural or divine influence. Isn't that interesting? So really we work from the Spirit on the inside out. That's inspired. Right? It's spirit first. It also means to breathe into or put life into. So it says, God breathed into our nostrils, right? He breathed life. So life is breath. He breathed it into us. So inspiration comes from the inside out. It's life force. Life force that express. That's inspiration. So we always start with a spiritual reference point. That's one of the reasons why, when you look at the mission statement of LEAD, we empower doctors to become inspired leaders, right? So what do? So if inspired means divine origin, then that's why we always begin with whether it's the boot camps or the semi-annuals, we always begin with a spiritual reference point. That's part of becoming inspired leaders. When you look at great leaders that change the world, they're all very spiritual people. Why? Well, there's a bunch of reasons, and we're going to go through those. So what's spiritual reference point? You're not a human on a spiritual journey. What's that mean? You're not a human being walking through the physical world as if you're reacting to conditions, looking for spiritual experiences, looking for miracles. When you're a human, when you see yourself from a human reference point, then hope is your strategy. Hope is great, right? Hope is not necessarily the same as faith, spiritual faith, right? Hope can be great. Faith, and one unwavering faith, is certainty. Hope may or may not contain certainty. And that's a human reference point. So we're not a human being on a spiritual journey. We're a spirit on a human journey. That's so important, because when you see yourself from a spiritual reference point, and inspiration has a divine spiritual origin, then seeing yourself from a spiritual reference point is what creates inspiration. You guys get that? One of the beginning slides in the boot camp we just came back from is all of life is deciding who you are. See, we get to choose. That's what coaching is, teaching people to have a whole spectrum of perspectives. Well, when we take a spiritual reference point, we can decide who we are. Now, when you have that spiritual reference point, you see yourself before the conditions of the world. What's that mean? It means you look around and the conditions of the world are second. What's that mean? It's the physical manifestation of a spiritual consciousness. The reason that the physical world is created is there was thought first. There was inspiration first. So when you look at all the technology, all the designs, all the stuff, all the art, it was somebody's idea, it was somebody's inspiration that put that into the physical world. So it's spirit first, physical second. So when you have a spiritual reference point and you see yourself as a spirit having human experiences, then you can be above your conditions. Meaning, like, you may not, if you judge your conditions, then you can create pain. Pain comes from judgment. But when I appreciate conditions, then I can see myself, I can take responsibility, I can see myself at cause. So you see, when you look at your conditions and you see that they are second to consciousness, then what was my consciousness that put it in front of me? Am I observing the consciousness of other people? There's things that are happening around the world that are the general consciousness of humanity, right? And so, Psalm 91, right? We observe the reward of the wicked. So, you know, when there's terrorist activities and all these things going on in the world that aren't great, that's the result of human consciousness and the pain of humanity, right? So we can observe those, but we walk through the valley. We don't build our house there. So as we're walking through this, we can observe the reward of the wicked. So what's that mean? That we can be above it, and then we can appreciate it. And this is part of becoming an inspired leader that we're going to talk about in a minute. So you can be above your conditions. You see the conditions as second, but your consciousness is first. So when you live from this reference point, your creative power manifests. You appreciate your creative power. You understand it more. So even this with chiropractic principle, there's universal intelligence, right? That's the universe, that's God, that's whatever you want to call it. And then there's innate intelligence. So we are a piece of universal intelligence. So you see, we talked about this at the boot camp. You are a channel for universal energy. So we are part of the spirit world, and we're given a body to be able, as a vehicle, to walk through the physical world and create experiences. So all of life is deciding who you are. So if I'm an inspired leader and you come here with a purpose, then I can decide that my life has intention. So now we go to 4 subconscious beliefs. So there's 4 subconscious beliefs, since we're already familiar with the 4 subconscious beliefs chiropractic, right? Chiropractic is a universal law. The universe has intention, so every person standing in front of us has a reason. Chiropractic, since it's a universal law, other spiritual beings see it as truth, so they're going to feel it in their body as truth. And everybody wants to be in a relationship with you. Well, those are the 4 subconscious beliefs of chiropractic. And you teaching another person chiropractic. Well, so I was thinking, what are some, or an example of 4 subconscious beliefs of being an inspired leader, becoming an inspired leader, which you already are. It's actually becoming conscious that you are an inspired leader. So I guess I need to change that title. Since you already are, you don't have to become anything, you already are. It's becoming conscious of it and bringing that into your conscious mind and then experiencing that in your body. That was the whole focus of this last boot camp, was learning to embody that experience. So what are an example of these are 4 subconscious beliefs that I chose? Well, just like the chiropractic one, chiropractic message is a universal law. Well, how about life force, energy? Spirit is a universal law. So if the universe is an energetic world and a spiritual being is an intelligent life force with intelligence, that's the universal law. We're in an energetic universe. Now, as I talk about this, it's 11:11 right now, my time. 11 is a spiritually based number, master level number. Isn't that fascinating? As I'm talking about life force, I look at the clock, it says 11:11. Of course, you're in different time zones past 11:11. Just happen to notice that. Just saying. Life force, energy, spirit is a universal law. That is a universal law. We actually live in a spirit world, and physical conditions are the result of consciousness, whether general or personal. What would be a possible second subconscious belief? The universe has intention. We keep that. We keep that one. What's that mean? You're here for a reason. In other words, your spirit came into this physical world for a reason. You're a chiropractor for a reason. You have a message that is truth for a reason. The reason you are physically present and still alive, because how many people have been through conditions in life that were potentially life-threatening besides me, right? There's a reason that you're still here. There's a reason that you made it through those life-threatening conditions. Because because you're here to do something. So when you know that, and you're here for a purpose, and you have a vision, and that vision is imparted, it's given to you, it comes from your innate, it's inside out. The only challenge is what's your perception of that vision. So when you have a spiritual reference point, then your perception of that vision means that's what you're supposed to do. The only difference of whether or not you do it comes from your perception in your mind. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So there's a reason you're here. Number one, life force energy is universal law. That's you. The universe has intention. You are here for a reason and a purpose. And fulfilling that or not fulfilling is not an option. It's like you don't even think about not fulfilling it. You're here for a reason. You're just going to do it. That's why you're here, right? And then that leads, once you know that, that leads to the third subconscious belief is the universe is here to support you. Since you live from a spiritual reference point, you know you're here for a reason. There's universal intelligence, your innate intelligence, and you're part of something bigger, then that means God, the universe, is here to support you. So we'll put everything you need right in front of you. Now, when you believe that subconsciously, first it may be conscious, and then you have to remind yourself, re-mind. What's that mean? Bring back to your mind that this is true. So many times that it becomes natural. You don't even have to think about it. It's just part of you. At that point, you've embodied it. What you embody, you bring into your body, and if your body is here to express in the physical universe, then you have to bring it into your body, so your body vibrates, right, like a energetic life force tuning fork. So whatever frequency your body is vibrating as is going to determine what happens in your life. Same thing with coaching. That's how you take people through that emotional cycle, that horseshoe, right? Get their problem, pain, suffering, bring them into a peak state. That's how you transform people. 7 steps to mastering change. So 1, life force energy, spirit's the universal law. 2, the universe has intention. 3, the universe is here to support you. How cool is that? That means everything you need is going to be placed right in front of you when you believe that. 4, you're here to solve a problem in a unique way that only you can do. You're here to solve a problem in a unique way. Now, there may be many other people that are attempting to solve the same problem. It doesn't matter. There could be millions of problems. There's problems in humanity that the whole world knows about. Right? How many chiropractors are there? Well, that's a problem, right? But do you solve it in a unique way that only you can express? Now, this is huge because this takes away competition. Competition and comparison is ego. That's having a humanity reference point. That's a scarcity reference point. But when you have this, not only are you here for a reason, but you're here to solve a problem in a unique way. And because it's you, because it's coming through you in a unique way, there are people that are waiting for you specifically. Do you believe that? That you're solving a problem in such a unique way that other spirits are here to support you, right? And they're here to move from their humanity into their spirit. So everything that happens, including pain, is here to support you. You know, it's funny because I was trying to gain a new perspective coming back from Atlanta. Well, first of all, I'm on Pacific time, so that means I normally go to bed between 11 and 12, and I get up at 5. So 11 and 12 Pacific time is 2 to 3 East Coast time. So by the time I end up falling asleep, you know, it's pretty late, and I still get up at 5 because we have our ritual. So you're living on a few hours sleep, so all I want to do is come home, right? Get on the plane, board the plane. The air conditioner pump broke. Oh, my God, delayed 4 hours. By the time I got home, it was 2 in the morning. I still have to get up at 5 Monday morning. It's another night of 3 hours. So as I was sitting there, probably threw out a bunch of F-bombs, right? Because I just want to go home. Then I was thinking, if everything has a reason and the universe has intention and every condition is helping me to the next step, because to grow into the next step of your purpose becomes uncomfortable, right? So you're placed in painful conditions. Now, the thing is, how do you see this as a benefit from a soul perspective? Same thing. It's like we have a spectrum of emotional resources. Which one do you choose? Well, I could be all pissed off, which I definitely went through that phase. And then you think, okay, let's get your state down. Let's change this perspective because I don't like the way I feel right now, and I'm not in joy, and I'm being attached to the conditions. So I thought, God must be training me for when we're traveling around the world. I'm on minimal sleep. And then we have to teach a seminar, and we have to move them from their humanity into their spirit. So he must be training me to get out of my body and manage my state. And don't listen to my body. It doesn't matter how tired you are, because that's an emotion, right? Because if I would have stayed stressed, that's an emotion. So there must be a point in my life where I'm going to have to live on a little bit of sleep, and we're going to have to do things that are going to change people's perspective. And so this is training. So I woke up at 5 o'clock Monday morning, was all fired up. Actually had the best workout I've had in a while on a few hours sleep after a whole weekend of a few hours sleep, and was the strongest in the gym that I've been in almost a year. That was a state. This is why looking from a spiritual reference point is so important. Okay? Now this morning I got up, I was tired. I wanted to go to bed. I wanted to stay in bed an extra hour. So I'm like, wow, what's the difference between today and yesterday? My perspective. Right? When it comes right down to it, laser sharp focus. Spiritual reference point, you're going to be there all the time? Maybe not, but do you have the tools to get back? Do you see every condition in your life as a mirror to look at yourself? Is it putting you out of your comfort zone to train you, because people are waiting for you? They're waiting for you to solve a problem in such a unique way that only you can solve. Right? Now, then that helps you look at, man, I am here for this reason. I'm life force energy. The universe has intention. Only I can do this. See, there's patients in your community that are waiting for you to get your act together, to get the right perspective, to get the systems down, to be able to prepare your team, to get your team to the right consciousness and what's possible, so you can attract these people and become a magnet, so they can come in because they're home taking drugs, doing all this. They don't have hope. They're going from doctor to doctor. But until you make room in your consciousness and in the consciousness of your team and in the systems that allow you to see more people, then they stay out there suffering, because this is energy. So what's your mental attitude? What's your state? What's your perspective? Because only you can do it the way you're going to do it. And only you are the one they're waiting for. So where are you? Are you ready for them? Say yes. Now, what do you need to do in your life to become congruent? What rituals have to match that standard? How about those 4 subconscious beliefs? Life's force is universal law. The universe has intention. You're here for a reason. The universe is here to support you and is bringing spirits to you. You're here to solve a problem in a unique way that only you can do, and there are people that are waiting for you. How's that? Now, once you understand that, okay, now I have a spiritual reference point. I have these 4 subconscious beliefs. Now I set my own self-interest aside and I focus on the benefit of others. So that means you're so solid within yourself and you're so confident that subconsciously in your body that now your focus moves to the people. One reason people get stuck is their focus is on themselves. When you have a humanity reference point, when you're a human being seeking spiritual experiences, then that humanity reference point associates with pain and judgment and comparison and competition and all these things, and scarcity, because there's never enough with a human reference point. Why? Because when your focus is outside yourself, then you're focused on conditions, right? From a human reference point rather than a spiritual reference point, then you're looking at conditions and you're seeing yourself reacting to the world. Right? So what you're doing is you're getting pushed around with the wind of the world rather than a spiritual reference point where it doesn't matter where the wind's blowing. If you're walking down a sidewalk, see, the sidewalk is a reference point. A sidewalk keeps you straight, as opposed to walking through a woods with no landmarks, especially if you got a leg length deficiency. On one side, you're going to tend to walk in circles, right? But can you walk with a spiritual reference point? Doesn't matter if you're walking through the woods. Like a sidewalk gives you a visual guide. See, that's a spiritual reference point. So you can walk in a straight line. You don't get lost. Now, if you have no vision, then you don't know where that sidewalk goes. But if you know where the destination is with vision, and you follow that sidewalk, this is a metaphor, right? That sidewalk has boundaries. And you can observe the neighborhood you're walking through, right? That's like walking with a spiritual reference point down a sidewalk, observing the cool homes as you walk to the beach. Thank you very much. In Newport Beach, right on the beach this morning, right? So as you walk down that sidewalk, there's the destination. I can see it. And I walk toward it with gratitude. And the closer I get, see, all I have to do is walk out the door or wake up in the morning, right? And I know where I'm going. Going to the beach. See, what's your beach? That's it. So what we do is we set ourselves aside and we put our focus on serving others. When you focus on adding human value, that's all you're going to do today. God, just use me to add more value to more people today. That's all I want to do. When that's your focus and you let everything else go, when you add human value to people, money is a tool for exchange. So if you're focused on the tool, if you're focused on the money, then you're not focused on human value. Right? When you focus on human value, that's more fulfilling. Why? Because you're being a blessing. Now, when you experience, see, the brain doesn't know what's outside of you and what's in you. So when you judge and you're judging someone else, it's not like you're separate. All your brain, all your body knows is, what do I feel when I'm communicating judgment? You feel pain. So what do you really do? You're experiencing more pain in your life. But when you focus on blessing people, when you're just walking through anywhere and there's someone and you just bless them and you experience that and you feel yourself blessing, then you're replenishing yourself. And then you're conditioning yourself to love. So when you're focused outside of you, servant leader, set aside self-interest for the betterment of others. So your focus is adding human value. And as you add value, that's what you experience. So your value, you experience value within yourself. It actually builds your self-esteem. It's part of what helps you move from humanity into spirituality. You become conscious, more conscious of taking that 18-inch journey from your head to your heart. Okay, so let's review this. Hey, inspiration comes from divine, spiritual reference point, 4 subconscious beliefs. Now we put our focus outside ourselves toward other people to adding human value. Right? It's becoming an inspired leader, becoming conscious of being an inspired leader. Now we have purpose. Now we take that spiritual energy and we focus it. Right? Because purpose fuels your intention. Now you must embody your purpose. You got to feel it in your body. Now purpose doesn't make you successful, but it does add fuel. Purpose is what gets you up out of bed, so to speak, when you don't want to get out of bed. Right? Purpose is what makes you approach the uncomfortable and walk through it. It makes you approach your fear and go through it. Why? Because what if you don't? So you can be consequence motivated, thinking about the pain if you don't, or you can be benefit motivated, thinking about the love if you do. So you got to feel that purpose in your body. When you know your purpose in your head, your body's going to stop you. Because fear will stop you. But when you feel that purpose in your body, when you embody it, again, your body, when you look at your body as a tool to express physically in the world, right, then you use your body as a vehicle, as a tool to attract and create. Because if your body really is a physical tuning fork, then however you vibrate is going to determine what you get. Right? It's going to determine what you manifest in your life. So do you look at yourself as a physical tuning fork for life force energy to come through with the purpose? You're conscious of that purpose. So it's a spirit, mind, body, right? Spiritual life force energy. Your mind focuses life force energy. You use your body as the tuning fork, as the vehicle to be able to create your focus in the physical world. This is all through NLP. It's all through, see, NLP doesn't go through the spirit part. It just goes through the mind part, right? But that's what incantations are, using your body as a tool. The spiritual part of this is really what adds power. So spirit, mind, body. Spirit is life force. Mind focuses life force in a very specific direction. It's like choosing that sidewalk with the destiny. Emotion of the purpose fuels your body. It's the emotion that you feel. So when you have your purpose, what emotion do you assign to it? Do you assign inspiration? Because you can have a purpose and have that purpose be so big that you feel fear. Why? Because you get stuck in your mind without a spiritual reference point. That's why spiritual reference point is so important. Because when you know your spirit, you have intention, the universe is going to support you, and you're here to express in a unique way, and people are waiting for you, now you feel responsibility. 7 steps to mastering change. Understand their world. What's that mean? You know, you can do this with yourself. Well, understand their world. Well, how do I get to the highest understanding? Move beyond the 6 human needs. 6 human needs, right? Certainty, uncertainty, significance, loving connection. Right? The first 3 are definitely lower vibrating. Loving connection transitions. It begins to get into higher consciousness, then into growth, and then into contribution, right? The highest. Those are human needs. The spirit needs nothing. So in human needs, contribution is the highest. Spiritual reference point automatically goes into contribution because you have confidence. You're before the physical world. You don't react to conditions. You already know that the universe is here to support you. You're supposed to express in a specific purpose. You have an emotion for your purpose. You feel that in your body. Your body is a vehicle that you express in the physical world. You go to add value, so your focus is outside of yourself. Automatically, you're in contribution. What's that mean? Every need before then is already met. If you cling to certainty of conditions, then you have expectation, but the conditions change. So you set yourself up for failure and pain. So we exchange expectation for appreciation. What's that mean? We appreciate the conditions of the world. We see that we're before them, and now I have certainty from a spiritual reference point that I'm here for a reason, that the universe is here to support you, and you're here to express in a unique way, so I can automatically focus outside myself because everything I already have and need, it's already done, whether it appears in the physical world or not. If it doesn't appear now, it will be there. And I fuel the emotion. I can choose the emotion because as a great inspired leader and coach, you realize that you have a whole spectrum of emotions that you can experience. Is the emotion you're experiencing and assigning right now, is that going to get you to your purpose? Is that going to be the fuel that you want to put in your tank? On my motorcycle and Corvette, I definitely do not put regular gas. We put high octane. Why? Do you have high octane attitudes? Do you want to perform better, right? Do you have high octane emotions fueling your purpose from a spiritual reference point? And the body expresses in the physical world. What frequency is your tuning fork vibrating at, right? That's your body. Now, because our body is a tool to express and manifest in the physical world, we got to train our body. Right? You got to take care of that body, man, because that body, when that body wears out, how can you fulfill your purpose? So you got to train your body for stamina. You got to have stamina. You got to have strength. You got to be in shape. You got to have a strong immune system, cardiovascular system. You got to have strong organs. If you had $1 million racehorse, what would you feed it? Right? What if you were that $1 million racehorse? Because you are. What do you feed it? How do you exercise it? How do you train it? If you had $1 million, $5 million racehorse, how would you train for the Kentucky Derby? Would you hire the best trainers, great coaches? What would you feed it? It's every day. It's the Kentucky Derby. That's every moment. When you have a purpose that changes humanity. Right? So you train your body. Then you train your mind with focus. You condition your mind with focus. You train your body physically. So when your mind and your purpose is demanding that your mind has focus and your body follows. Because you know what your purpose is. You may want to focus your mind, but if you're tired, your body's not fit, you don't have stamina, right? Physiology affects psychology. So now your body will begin to weaken your focus. So is your body strong enough that it supports the focus of your mind? That's why we have responsibility to be physically fit and in shape and feed our body with good things. Does your mind, do you have rituals with focus and discipline with your mind and your body and your spirit? See, we feed our body every day, but do you feed your spirit every day? Because that's our origin. So do you feed your spirit? Do you feed your mind? Do you feed your body? Do you take care of all of them the same? Because that's who we are. Spirit, mind, body. Do they all match what your vision is? You have to have congruency in all those areas. And when you have that clarity, remember, the universe is here to support you. It will mirror your consciousness because your body is tuning fork. So it will mirror your consciousness. So let's get our consciousness, our spirit, mind, body, all united, congruent with our vision. So there's the next step. Have clear vision. It's got to be so clear. It's like walking down that sidewalk to the beach. You can see the beach, whatever that is. I can see it. Whether I see it physically, whether I see it in my mind's eye. If you have clarity in your mind's eye, then it will come. But you got to see it, and you got to feel it in your body. Spirit, mind, body, all focus the same on that vision. Now, it may not be here today, but that's okay. But you have to have clarity. How do you gain that clarity in your vision? Well, you got to meditate. You got to come into a peaceful state. Because when you're in the right state, you find the right strategy. So you have to be at peace. Why? Because if you're not at peace, then you're going to have stress and anxiety. Whatever state, whatever consciousness you're in, are the solutions you're going to create. So if you're in an anxious state, you're going to create anxious solutions. If you're in a peaceful state, you create empowered action and empowered solutions. So we don't meditate just to gain clarity. We also meditate to feel peace in our body, to get to a higher consciousness, to feel yourself like mercury rising in a thermometer. Get above your conditions of the world. So you look at conditions in your life and you have gratitude, right, for everything in your life because it's mirrored your consciousness. So you get into a higher consciousness. You feel that peace in your body. You feel it and you memorize it. You ingrain it into your nervous system so eventually you can get to that state in one breath. So you set the reference point, right? So we go 7 steps to mastering change. Introduce a new state. In meditation, you're introducing a new state. By feeling it in your body and becoming conscious of that feeling, you're conditioning it into your body. Step 6. And then you align it with your purpose. You feel the emotion of your purpose. You see yourself. You create that vision. Where are you going to be in 20 years? Where are you going to be in 10 years? You live it now. You don't even have to vision it in 10 years, but you feel it in your body now. And then you begin to attract, because remember, your body is the physical tuning fork that brings from the spirit world and manifests in the physical world. So you feel it now. And then you begin to create opportunity and conditions. So, let's go all the way back. Quick review. Inspiration, supernatural, divine origin. We live from a spiritual reference point. We're spirit on a human journey. We have the 4 subconscious beliefs. Life force energy, universal law. Right? We're here for a reason. The universe has intention. The universe, God, is here to support us. And we're here to solve a problem in humanity that only we can do in a unique way, and people are waiting for us. We have a servant leader, which means we're all good in ourselves with those beliefs, so we keep the focus on humanity. We keep the focus on adding human value. We have a purpose that fuels us. We feel it in our body with emotion, and we feel that inspiration in our body. We project it outward and put our focus on the people to add value. We have a spirit, mind, body consciousness. So we know our spirit is life force. Our mind focuses our attention. Body is our physical tuning fork. We feel it in our body. Right? We train our bodies so we physically fit. We train our minds so we have mental and emotional discipline. We train and we feed our spirit so we enhance that consciousness. Now we have a clear vision of what we're going to create, why we're here, what's our sole purpose, right? What's the outcome? And then we meditate. We get it so clear within us at a peaceful state that then we begin, the strategies begin to come to us, the right strategies in that state. Now, what do we have to do? We see that vision. What skill would you have to develop? Now you go develop the skill. This is why you guys are in the coaching system. This is why you go to the boot camps. This is why you become gaining the skill of becoming an inspired leader. This is why you take your team so they can develop the skill, so they can get rewired with an experience. And as long as you have to develop the skill, what's the fastest, easiest way to develop it? That's why you take your team to the semi-annuals, you put them on these teleconferences, and you come bring your team to the boot camps. Other than that, because if you don't do that, you must want to work hard, because you can't. Can you actually reproduce the experience, the rewiring that you go through, and the shift in consciousness at a boot camp or semi-annual? Can you go back and just tell them about it and expect them to feel the way you do? No. But you know what? It costs a lot of money. Well, then go do it yourself and work hard to not even get the same result. Or just bring your team. Put them on these teleconferences. This one's a great one to be on. And you have to set your standards. So you develop the skill and set your standards. So when you look at developing the skill and your standard is, I want to be the best in the world. Why do you want to be the best in the world? Because if you set your goal at being good, you will probably fail. It's right out of UPW. Tony Robbins. If you set your goal at being excellent, you'll probably be good. If you set your goal at being outstanding, you'll probably be excellent. What would you be if you set your goal at being the best in the world? You'd be outstanding. What's outstanding mean? You stand out. Do you want to stand out as an individual? Do you want to fulfill your sole purpose on those 4 subconscious beliefs? You are life force energy. You're here for a reason. You're here to solve a problem in a unique way, and people are waiting for you. Then you probably want to stand out, which means you want to be outstanding, which means your standard has to be the best in the world. So when you're developing the skill, what's your standard when you're developing the skill? How often do you train? Right? It's all about standards. Now, when you can do that, people feel those standards. Why does a person walk out? Because they didn't raise their standard on healthcare. Why does a patient walk out? Why does a team member make mistakes? Because they didn't raise their standard. Well, what's your standard? Right? Is the doctor's standard as high as the team standard? Is the team standard that the standards of the team have unity in consciousness, then unity in action? That's it. So you develop the skill. You and your team develop spirit, mind, body, skill. Right? So develop the necessary skill. Now, perform that skill. Raise your vibration. Perform that skill from love, illumination, bliss, and infinite peace. Right? So it's unity in consciousness and unity in action. So you develop the skill. Now you perform that skill from the right state. Because now you're fueling an action with the right intention and a higher vibration. So it's not what you do, it's the energy you do it with. You can do something. If you do something and hate it, you're probably going to make mistakes. If you do something and you don't understand it, it's probably not going to be that great. But when you do something with love, it just seems to work out. It just has more power. You have more flexibility because you're not judging anything. So you see the best. You find the right strategy. You develop the skill faster. Do you ever notice when you love something, you're persistent at it? You become great at it. Even though it takes time, you work harder. You work more consistently. Maybe not harder, but more consistently. You're more disciplined. So when you're developing the skill, what energy are you doing that skill with? Do you find it frustrating? Do you see it hard? Just because it's a little different doesn't mean it needs to be hard. It just means you look at it like, I just need to condition it into me until it becomes familiar. And I need to feel it in my body to get to the level of unconscious competence. Meaning I can do it automatically. So how much repetition is it going to take? I don't know. Whatever it takes. But what I do know, if it's fueled with passion and love and peace, that you're going to be more skillful at that skill faster. So when you're going through the scripts, even in a consultation, when you feel unconditional love for the person, even if you don't know the script, they feel different about you. They make a commitment and say things because of the energy you're doing it with. They make a commitment and you think, she's only did 10% of what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, but it's the energy you do it with. That's what people feel. So you raise your vibration, you develop the skill, then you pour love and the right emotion and the right vibration because your body's a tuning fork. And then you build and inspire a team. Does your team feel the purpose that you do? So once you gain the skill, right, then you show that skill. You train other people. You get support because other spirits come into the world with the purpose to support that purpose. Their purpose is to help your purpose because they align with that purpose and they take that purpose to another level. That's your team. And if it's not their purpose, that's okay. Then they need to go find their purpose because they need to feel that inspiration just like you do. Right? They're here. They're here for a reason. Is that their purpose? If it's not their purpose, then let them go find their purpose. They need to do it for the freedom they need to experience. And you need to do it to attract the right person or the person that feels that's their purpose. Now, if you have a team where that is their purpose, then you have to be diligent, develop the skill, do it together, unity in consciousness, unity in action. And as you're training, stick to the systems, make agreements. This is in any relationship. In any healthy relationship, you make agreements and you stick to them. Why? Because you honor the relationship. You honor your responsibility. So follow the systems. And whatever agreements you come to with your team in those staff meetings, follow them. That's why no system can change outside a staff meeting. Why? Because they have to know what to expect. So you build and inspire a team with that purpose. They feel the same emotion that you feel for the purpose. And now you give your team responsibility. So one of the things we're going to talk about in the Chicago seminar, how to coach your team into inspiration and purpose. In fact, there's probably my title right there. How do you do that? Well, first of all, you never give them answers. You never tell them what to do. You say, what do you guys see? That's a pre-shift huddle. Here's our reference point, right? We don't manage what we have. When people are stuck in their practice, I already know. You're at the mindset of you're trying to manage what you have. What are your pre-shift huddles? Well, what re-exams do we have today? How boring. You're trying to manage a flow. Oh, my God, that's boring. Instead of what's possible. Let's get into the excitement of what's possible. Let's get into the excitement of creation. Let's realize that we're spiritual beings. Other spirits are here. We're here to express in a unique way, and people are waiting for us. So the people that are waiting, are we ready? Do we have our system set up? Do we have a consciousness of what's possible to create more than what's on the schedule? Now that's what those people are waiting for to come in, because they're done being on their drugs. They're done suffering. They want to get out of their humanity and get into their divinity. Every spirit seeks consciousness of their self. That's a capital S. God self, their spiritual beingness. They want to become conscious of it in the physical world. How do we know that? Because they're spiritual beings, just like you. That's why we create an innate to innate connection. So when they look in your eyes, they see that you're conscious of yourself. You're in a peaceful state. So your peace brings peace in them. Just the fact that they can feel your energy helps them relax. It builds trust. So the result is trust. Why? Because they feel that peace and unconditional love. And that's what they really desire to feel. So they just feel better when they're around you. That's your front desk. So you give your team responsibility. Say, what do you see today? If we were to add 100 visits a week, where would we get stuck? What do you think the solutions are? What do you want to create today? Tell me now, how are we going to create that? First, unity in consciousness, then unity in action. So we have responsibility to get to the next step. So what are we going to do? What's an empowering perspective? What's an empowering energy? Now let's get into that empowering state, because when we do that, then our state automatically empowers others. How cool is that? It's totally awesome. Thank you. It's totally cool. Then finally, have faith. Believe it or not, we just went through 14 steps. Have faith. I think we just talked about maybe the first section in the Chicago seminar. You're probably going to need to hear this a few times. What's faith mean? It means I know. That's what it means. Gratitude is the bridge between fear and love. That's how we get from mind to spirit, is gratitude. Gratitude is divine. What it is, it's automatically knowing. That's what have faith is. Have faith means no matter what I face in the world, I know God laid the path in front of me. I know there's a sidewalk. I got to walk down the stairs off my balcony. I know there's a sidewalk that takes me to the beach. I'm in my house right now. I don't see it, but I know it's there. I knew it was there before I moved in. That's why I moved in. Because I said I want to move to California. I want to live a walk from the beach, right? So what you do, you set your intention. You have a vision. You know it's going to happen. You have faith, right? You get yourself on a plane and you start looking. You build a team. You hire a realtor to find what you want. What's the difference? All it is a system. It doesn't matter what it is. You want to get there? Have a great office manager that runs your practice. Why? So you can be a healer. You can become a chiropractor so you can handle problems in the business. What do? You put in systems. You have a manager run it. You have confidence in that person. They're purpose-driven. They see the vision. They want it. They feel it in their body. And they develop a team that feels it in their body. Now you have unity and consciousness. Now let's put in the systems that make things happen like a machine so it's predictable. Right? So we have structure. We have structure, yet we have flexibility with each person. We follow a system, but how we communicate, each relationship has flexibility. What does that person need? You're here to solve a problem in a unique way, but everybody's got a different problem. So we solve it in a unique way that only you can solve with that person at that time, right now. And you have faith that everything is going to be laid in front of you, that everything is taken care of. That as long as I have that vision, God's going to provide the way. So I just walk down the sidewalk with faith and with gratitude and with systems and with consciousness and a spiritual reference point. Because faith and a spiritual reference point take away the anxiety. They take away the anxiety of uncertainty. If you have anxiety of uncertainty, then you're focused on your humanity. And it means you don't understand your divinity. And it doesn't matter what you're looking at. It's anything in life, because any condition in life is second to your consciousness. Quick review. Inspiration has divine origin that moves through. It's life force in you. That's why we have a spiritual reference point. We're a spirit on a human journey. All of life, every day, every moment is deciding who you are. And then experiencing that. It's deciding who you are and then embodying it, feeling in your body and having the experience. Because the body is the vehicle in the physical world. Right? We have force subconscious belief. Life force energy is a universal law. You are a spirit. The universe has intention. You're here for a reason. And then because of that reason, and you're a spiritual being, the universe is here to support you. It's here to put everything in line, every physical condition up in the world that aligns so you can manifest. That's why you have desire. Desire is spirit seeking manifestation. You're here to solve a problem in a unique way that only you can solve, and there's people that are waiting for you. Right? Now, once you do that, you put your focus. Now, once you have that grounding, put your focus outside yourself. Let's add human value. Right? And then we have a purpose. Our purpose, add human value. What's the vehicle? Is a chiropractic. You know, you put this in every area of your life. Spirit, mind, body, template. Are you a father, a mother, a husband, a wife, a leader? Right? You can be an inspired leader in every area of your life. Right? Spirit is life force. Mind directs, focuses life force. Emotion, you assign an emotion to your purpose. You feel it in your body, you embody it, and you become the tuning fork for spiritual energy and manifest in the physical world. Then you train that body, since your body is a vehicle. Man, I want a sharp body. I want a Ferrari body. Right? I want 12 cylinders, baby, firing at 100%. So you're fit. You train your body. You feed it good fuel. You train your mind with focus. Right? And then you develop rituals that you experience in the physical world that manifest, that you embody your vision. Right? So you have a clear vision. Your rituals match your vision so you can attain it. It's very clear. You see the outcome. Then you meditate. You see it. You embody it. You feel yourself living that right now because your body is the tuning fork. You have clarity on that vision. Now you develop the skill. So when you know what that outcome is, do you have the skill to pull that off? What skills will you need? Now find the person, the condition, whatever it is that gives you that skill. And then master it. Set your standard for being world class, best in the world. So you can be outstanding, stand out. So that those people that are waiting for you, they find you because you stand out. Now when you're doing that skill, raise your vibration, get into a peaceful state. Deliver that skill with love and peace and power and authority. Build an inspired team. Have them embody that purpose because they are there to help you. The universe is there to help you. So if you need a new team member, first thing you do is pray. Thank you that everything is laid in my path. So obviously the right person is going to come to you. The right person, and it's not the wrong person, but people that are the optimal person. So don't hire the less than optimal person where their purpose is not your purpose. That's why the third interview is the workshop. So you automatically know. Then once you have that team, give them responsibility. Let them take responsibility. They become entrepreneurs. When they take responsibility, they don't become task-driven. They don't make mistakes. Right? They're creative beings too. If they are here to support you, then they have creative ideas that can help you reach it. Give them power. Help them feel empowered on the team. And then have faith. Build unity in consciousness, unity in action, develop your skill, and then you go through this cycle over and over and over. There you go. That's becoming conscious of an inspired leader. Okay, gang, love you. Hope that creates a shift. You probably want to go back and listen to this a few times. All right, love you guys. Talk to you on the coaching calls. I will see those going to the Atlanta boot camp in a month, 6 weeks. I will definitely see you in Chicago. I love you all, and we'll talk to you on the coaching calls. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye.